Okay, camera's rolling.
Have we got a question I'm responding to?
Are you asking questions or?
Sorry, I think you were going with another question.
Sorry.
Yeah. What was the question?
What is the benefit of NZCID?
But NZCID is the peak infrastructure industry body, and it brings together the best minds in the design, construction, financing, operations and maintenance of infrastructure, and works very closely with the public sector to make sure that New Zealand's infrastructure is fit for purpose and we're delivering the right projects in the right time. It focuses very much on issues like long-term planning, governance, making sure we've got the funding in place at the right time, advanced procurement techniques, and making sure that the industry is fit for purpose to deliver the right infrastructure that will enable New Zealand to grow.
I think that was really good. Can we do that just because the first half, I want to, sorry, be safe that we've got that. Can I just be a pain and get you to redo the first half, thank you? Well, feel free to
Take this off.
Yeah, camera rolling and when you're ready.
How does NZCID influence policy?
Well, there's a whole variety of ways NZCID influences policy, from detailed research of the key issues that are holding back infrastructure and the policy changes that need to enable progress to be sped up or advanced, through to regular forums, events, workshops, seminars. We run board luncheons with key leaders in infrastructure, be they ministers, mayors, senior public officials, and the opportunity for the private sector to sit around the table and debate the really important issues. And the combination of those regular fora and the detailed research that supports our activities means that we have the ability to cut through on some of the most important issues in the infrastructure sector.
Okay, next question.
What is the purpose of Building Nations and what is the benefit to attendees?
Building Nations is the peak industry event in the infrastructure world. It brings together 300 plus of the best minds across all of the sectors, public and private, but also construction, design, delivery, financing, and it's an opportunity to network, to get the real oil on what are the key issues that are happening. It's also an opportunity for the public and private sectors to update the audience on what is happening, what needs to happen, what is best practice. So we're really about trying to advance good new thinking about how infrastructure investment should be occurring in New Zealand.
Fantastic.
Do we have another?
I think that's the, yeah. The others will be able to.
Thank you.
Very good.
Yes, I think that's great.
Is Carrie happy with that shot? Could you just check with Karen, because she's the expert. She'll tell you if she's happy. Okay.
Why have you come to the Building Nations Symposium?
Well, I suppose because we're undertaking one of New Zealand's largest PPP projects, we wanted to talk to people about what we're doing. We wanted to let people know how we're going, and I suppose we just wanted to be part of the infrastructure, show people that we're part of the infrastructure building program in New Zealand at this time.
How does attending the Building Nations Symposium benefit you and or your organisation?
So our organisation, we're obviously New Zealand's largest telco utility company, and we do a lot within the telco industry, but here we're with our peers that are building infrastructure, so we're starting to meet people who are doing the same sort of work that we're doing, okay, in different environments, but infrastructure builders, people are involved in that industry, and so it's an opportunity for us that we don't often get to talk to people that are doing the same sort of work as us, making contacts and working with our partners like Downers and Leightons who are here as well. And besides, the food's not bad. Yeah, company's quite good.
Company's quite good.
Yeah, they make you do things you don't really want to do.
Tell me some food.
Mm.
Are you a member organisation and how does being a member of NZCID benefit you?
So we joined NZCID last year, once after we'd split from Telecom, after the demerger. We realised that we wanted to be part of an organisation that was looking after infrastructure builders, and of which obviously we're one of the biggest at the moment, working through New Zealand with the UFB project. And so being part of this organisation allows us to talk to other people that are doing the same sort of jobs, same sort of tasks. We get to share learnings and also just get an exposure to other infrastructure providers and what they're up to as well.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and it's too expensive. We'd like the fees to be cheaper. We think we're paying for too many staff. Yeah.
I think Contractors Federation
I think we belong to them as well.
That's
Anything else you want to? Is that
that's
it?
Fantastic. Thanks very much,
Okay.
Craig.
Gee.
Do you want some more camera time?
No, I've had it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much. That was fantastic.
No problem.
Okay, and in your own time, sir, when you're ready.
Are you ready? Why have you come to Building Nations?
GHD has come to Building Nations because it's a great event. It's an event where all of the industry comes together, the major players in the construction market, in the finance market, in the banking market. It's a really good event. And the stakeholders, we get the clients, we get to hear from them about what they want to do with their infrastructure assets, what their aspirations are and what their dreams are.
How does attending the Building Nations Symposium benefit you and your organisation?
The Building Nations Symposium, for GHD's point of view, allows us to connect with these people in a informal/formal environment. We can be ourselves with our peers and an organisation and be comfortable. We can talk about non-work related things while at the same time as getting heavily involved in the infrastructure issues of New Zealand. So it's a place where our GHD staff can engage and discuss about the future of New Zealand in a relaxed and comfortable environment.
And are you a member organisation, and how does being a member of NZCID benefit your organisation?
GHD's been a member of NZCID for quite some time, and it's been a really great organisation that's benefited us and our people. So yeah, we love being a part of NZCID. I don't know.
No, that's perfect. I don't know what they'll edit, but that is perfect.
Are you sure? Do you want to try that question
Do you
again?
want to try it again? If
Are you a
you're-
member of, and how does a member benefit your
you wanna try it
organisation?
again?
Yeah, let's try it again.
Are you from a member organisation, and how does being a member of NZCID benefit your organisation?
Yes, GHD's been a member of NZCID for a number of years. It's been a great organisation for us to work with and help gain access to more infrastructure stakeholders. It's been a great organisation for our young people to come to events such as the Building Nations Symposium and learn and understand what are our stakeholders wanting, what are our partners in the markets wanting. So for us, we love being a member of NZCID and what they've done to make infrastructure projects be the centre of New Zealand discussion. So it's been excellent.
Fantastic.
There you go. You
Thank
can
you so much.
Mitch Mac.
Why have you come to the Building Nations Symposium?
For us, the Building Nations Symposium is the premier infrastructure event in New Zealand, and as someone who wants to lead in this industry, this is the place we need to be.
Thank you. And how does attending the Building Nations Symposium benefit you and your organisation?
I think this is the place where thought leadership for infrastructure in New Zealand begins. So the most influential people that we need to see and be alongside in the industry are here today. It's the obvious place for us to be.
Fantastic, thanks, Paul. Are you a member organisation, which you are, and how does being a member of NZCID benefit you and your organisation?
Yeah, BNZ is a member of NZCID. We think it's very important to be alongside the industry that's leading thought on all of the major topics that matter to New Zealand in the infrastructure space.
That's fantastic. Are you happy with that, Paul?
It's fine, I'm sure it's
What did I have for breakfast? Did I have breakfast? Eggs on toast at the Olympic pool. Yeah, about 6. We did a K&a-half swim. You don't want to know about that though, do you? No.
Fraser, why have you come to the Building Nations Symposium?
I'm here at the National Symposium because it's a great forum to see how New Zealand Inc. is addressing infrastructure issues for New Zealand.
How does attending Building Nations benefit your organisation?
Attending this conference means that we get profile, and it's a great place to network and to see what's happening across the industry.
As a member organisation, how does being a member benefit your organisation?
As a member of NZCID, we get to participate in some of the debates. we get to see where New Zealand Inc. is thinking on this. It's just not one single sector, it's a cross-section of New Zealand Inc. and we see that as being hugely beneficial to our organisation and giving us profile in those debates.
Fantastic.
Right,
Do you
is that
got
enough?
anything else?
No.
Are you ready? Okay. What is the purpose of NZCID?
NZCID is the thought leadership industry body for infrastructure, and our role is to bring together and join the dots in the various participants in the infrastructure industry, ensure that they have a voice to be able to communicate with local, central government, and to make sure as amongst themselves they understand clearly what the challenges and opportunities are in the infrastructure sector. NZCID is very fortunate that it has all of the major participants in the infrastructure industry, right across the board, from contractors right through to consulting engineers to financiers. And so in that regard we have a very broad constituency, a broad church of participation in the industry, and therefore we have a very strong lobby into government. And although we're not a lobby group per se, we use it as an opportunity to advocate widely and broadly about the issues of the day. So we have great visibility incoming of the issues that are affecting infrastructure sector, and in return we promulgate views as a result of that information that we get, and talk to central and local government about how things might be done better and how we can make the New Zealand infrastructure ship go faster.
What is the benefit of Building Nations?
Building Nations is at its heart a celebration. We work very hard through the year, and we have a whole bunch of people that operate in diverse and disparate sectors across the infrastructure church. Infrastructure is a very broad church, and it's really important that at least once a year we all get together and share experiences to get a sense of what the aggregate infrastructure task for New Zealand is. And unless we do this and unless we share our experiences, the process will be very shallow and superficial. And so we think Building Nations is an opportunity to celebrate our success, define the opportunities for further work, find ways to raise the bar, and then work together between now and the next Building Nations to be able to see how we do against those goals that we set ourselves. And also importantly for the industry, it gives NZCID a sense of the things that matter from an advocacy perspective, so that we can be very finely attuned to the matters that are really causing issue or presenting opportunities, whichever way you look at it, to the infrastructure sector, and work on them between the intervening time.
Fantastic. Thank you, John. Pat, why have you come to the Building Nations Symposium?
Well, it's really the major infrastructure event for the year, where all the major players come together, from design engineering companies, construction companies, bankers, lawyers, accountants, and all those involved in the industry. And I can't think of another infrastructure event that occurs in New Zealand. And this is grown in size. It's a significant event, over 300 delegates, and it seems to have grown in stature over the years that I've been coming to it. So it really is an event you can't miss in terms of catching up with people in the marketplace, and it's incredibly valuable.
Thank you. How does attending the Building Nations Symposium benefit you and your organisation?
Well, I think for us it's really the networking. I mean, there's also, of course, the agenda. Speakers that are here are high profile. You learn about projects. I'm constantly taking notes during these sessions when people are speaking. So NZCID, led by Stephen Selwood, has been very good at getting good quality speakers from the political angle, from ministers such as Bill English and Stephen Joyce, and even David Shearer this morning. So it brings some pretty high quality speakers responsible for infrastructure decisions in the country, like Stephen Joyce and Bill English at the moment. And then also from the private sector, where you've got major construction companies here, and you've got good quality speakers over 2 days. And the quality on the second day is nearly as good as the first day, and so you've really got a consistent agenda. And then I think the primary thing is always around networking, the ability to bump into people that you just wouldn't see. You have 300 very important people at the conference, and you have a chance to chat to them, for even just catching up for a few minutes. That might otherwise be difficult if you're scattered around the country or you just haven't had the time to meet. So it becomes a great networking event to connect with people and keep in touch and talk about things that are going on in the marketplace.
Fantastic, thank you. As a member organisation, how does being a member of NZCID benefit you and your organisation?
Well, it gives us a profile. I think for ANZ in particular, infrastructure is one of three key sectors that we're focused on. And so for us, it's mandatory to be involved with NZCID to be a member. That fits with our strategy around infrastructure as one of our three key sectors. I'm also fortunate enough to be on the board of NZCID, and I found that incredibly valuable too, and to be able to hopefully contribute. ANZ is the premier sponsor of the Building Nations Symposium. We've been doing that now for 4 years, and we consider it a very important sponsorship that we provide, and we don't do that for every industry conference that exists, but this is a priority conference for us, and we think it's valuable profile and visibility for the bank in the infrastructure market. So hopefully we'll continue sponsoring the conference for a few more years to come.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Pat. That's all we needed.
Cheers, Tony.
Mike, why have you come to the Building Nations Symposium?
Well, I come every year, only because it's a great event. It's the event for infrastructure in New Zealand. Great chance to see everybody and interesting presentations.
Fantastic, thank you. How does attending the Building Nations Symposium benefit your organisation?
Well, I think it's probably through the connections. Obviously there's a bit of knowledge to gain, but it's more having that opportunity to meet a lot of colleagues in the industry and discuss issues, and sometimes it leads directly to work, obviously, which is good.
No, that's lovely, thank you. And as a member organisation, how does being a member benefit your organisation?
Well, obviously it's through attending things like this, but obviously there's other events that NZCID is involved with, and also it gives us the opportunity sometimes to put our opinion forward and feed into some of the advisory work the Institute's doing, submissions to government and so on. So we feel we can contribute that way as well. So that's worthwhile.
That's fantastic,
Yeah.
Mike. That's
Thank
all
you.
we needed to know.
The first two questions, is it possible to do the first two questions again, but respond with a question in your answer?
Say again?
Are you able to respond with a question in your answer?
A question. Okay,
So,
such as.
Building Nations Symposium has been. I come to Building Nations
Yeah,
Symposium.
why have you come to the Building Nations
Symposium.
Yeah.
I've come to, we're here to represent building at the Building Nations because da 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 da.
Yeah.
So just if you could answer the question and your response,
Right.
with the question and the answer.
Okay, I see. You feel I didn't answer the question well. Okay.
No, you answered.
I gave a politician's answer.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Take two.
okay. Mike, why have you come to the Building Nations Symposium?
I've come to the symposium because it's the premier event for infrastructure in New Zealand, and I come every year. It's a great opportunity to catch up with people and hear what, keep abreast of events.
Fantastic, thank you. And how does attending the Building Nations Symposium benefit you and your organisation?
Well, attending the symposium is great for networking, meeting fellow professionals in infrastructure, hearing what they're doing and what's going on. Sometimes it leads to a deal and some work, which is fantastic. And also, there's always interesting speakers, both from government and from industry, who've got some interesting views or updates on projects.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah.
Camera and sound are rolling, so in your own time, guys.
All right.
Right, thanks Warwick. In front of me today I have Warwick Isaacs, Director of the CCDU. Firstly, Warwick, I'd just like you to give us a little bit of background of the CCDU and how it fits into CERA.
Okay, thanks, Nick. What we have is CCDU, so that's an acronym for Christchurch Central Development Unit. We're just a business unit inside of CERA, so we're part of CERA. So Roger Sutton I work for Roger, and we fit right inside CERA, which is a government department.
Brilliant. Now, we've heard at the conference today quite a few details on what's coming up from the CCDU, and just wanted to ask 3 or 4 questions around some of the points that came up in today's presentation.
Sure.
First thing I just wanted to address was you talked about the cost sharing between CCDU and the council, or effectively the Crown and the council. We've got a good handle on that. I just wanted to ask how the private sector fits into that equation and where you see them playing a role.
Right, so you're right, we have got a cost share now with Christchurch City Council and the government. That's a fantastic outcome because what it does is give certainty to the private sector and the community that actually the government and the council are serious about delivering on the anchor projects which form an important part of the blueprint. So where we want the private sector, if you look at the convention centre precinct, obviously an outcome for the government is a box that's a convention centre itself. Very, very important to the tourism industry and the hospitality industry in Christchurch. So we want a precinct around it. We want 1 or 2 hotels, we want food and beverage, and so that's a place where we see the private sector investing in that sort of project. Yeah. For the others, the bus interchange is a really good example of where there's potential for office or backpack or a hotel or something above the bus interchange, and maybe some commercial around the outside of it. Others, it's more about private sector being the obviously construction companies that build it, the designers, the project managers, the QSs, so quantity surveyors, that actually help deliver the building. So some it's cash, and other parts is actually the expertise and investment by the private sector into the projects that way.
Okay, that's great. And I think that point you made around things like the convention centre, where the private sector has a key role to play in the form of hotels and other, I guess, other accommodation is very important. I think that's something to focus on.
Yes.
Forward. Obviously, for that we'll need land, and I understand that the land acquisition program is quite a way down the track in some cases. If you can maybe just give us a quick update on where you're at with the overall project, some of the various anchor projects, and what are the next steps for those land that's not been yet acquired.
Right. So I think across all our acquisition, we've got just over 50% of the land, but we haven't actively gone and sought land, for example, in the South Frame or the Health Precinct or the Innovation Precinct yet. So what we have done is we've targeted the Convention Centre, we've targeted the East Frame, and we've targeted the Metro Sports Facility, and so and bus interchange. So for the Convention Centre, we're just over 80% of the land, and between 60 and 80 for the balance of the sort of 3 targeted areas which have already gone out hard to buy the land. Yeah. It's been willing buyer, willing seller so far, but we are at the point on those 4 sort of key projects we want to get away as quickly as we can, that we now are exploring the compulsory purchase path, and that will be our advice to the Minister, that now we need to move on because we've exhausted all possible chances of winning buyer, winning seller. So we have sent the final offers to all the people in those areas that we want their property. Now we've negotiated long enough. Yeah.
And is there a time frame on acceptance of that before it goes compulsory?
Look, I think it's around a month. Right. Can't be sure, but it's around a month.
Sure. Okay. Just focusing on a couple of the anchor projects, you've already talked a bit about the Convention Centre, and the Metro Sports and the Health Precinct, I think, are 2 projects which are of interest to the wider community. So just if you can maybe give us a little bit of an update on the Metro Sports, what it will look like, once again, how the private sector can get involved, and the same for the Health Precinct. And as I understand, the Health Precinct has seen a lot of private sector initiative, so maybe go into a bit of detail around that.
So if I talk about Health Precinct first, what the urban designers, when they did the blueprint, they found was actually you've got a tertiary level hospital. It's the largest hospital in the South Island. They located the Metro Sports there because it is its proximity to the hospital, but also actually joining up with the Health Precinct. And so what we're focusing there is educational opportunities. So you can imagine University of Canterbury, CPIT, University of Otago, and others who provide educational opportunities for graduate and postgraduate health-related education, plus ancillary health service providers. And so we are finding there's actually more potential demand than what we anticipated when we launched the blueprint a year ago, so that's really quite exciting. And we've done a master plan for that. We've done that in-house with our experts, and we're now about to discuss that blue master plan with landowners there, so they can decide either we're in or we're out, and we can move forward. So we've bought a little bit of land in there already where people, they do want help. As far as the Metro Sports, yes, you're right, Nick, that's a critical one for the community of Christchurch, but also the New Zealand community, particularly the sporting community. We want that as a high performance facility as well as a community facility. So you can imagine there'll be 50-metre competition pool. There might be some deep water there for various things that you do in deeper water. Some of the community sort of style of things, but it's also going to be, at the moment where we've allowed for 8 indoor courts. We're discussing with some of the sporting codes, they actually want a little more than 8 so they can hold various level competitions there. So that's going to be a real hub of community water-based and also dry side court activity, as well as a real hub for the sporting community.
Sounds very exciting. I think the community will be looking forward to that being completed.
Absolutely, that's a really exciting project.
Yeah, now look, so obviously there's been a bit of information imparted today, but I think there's a couple of key points that we've heard, and it really comes down to dates and timelines. So if you can maybe just go over the dates of the announcements and what the private sector can look for following those dates.
Right, so really the summary from today was, look, the government and the council are doing their bit, they're funding and they're committed to doing that. And today we've talked about the private sector rebuilding. There's a number of buildings started and about to start, quite a significant number in the central city. And so what we're doing is we're targeting 1 September this year to have our program out there so that actually the wider investment community as well, construction community, knows exactly when they need to engage with us so that they can put their best foot forward and we can get the most we possibly can out of the innovation that the private sector offers us to get on with the rebuild.
Very good. Thank you again, Warwick. It's
a pleasure.
It's been great speaking with you, and you've got you've done a lot of work in the last 12 months. We can see that, and I think the next 12 to 24 months are going to show the fruits of that work. So yeah, well done. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to keeping in touch on the progress.
Good. Thanks very much, Nick. Pleasure.